Okay, so one of my friends wanted me to make some hamburgers, and he wanted to know how to do it the American way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video that I recorded in my kitchen. I made hamburgers in a few different ways. I made one on the frying pan, I did one under the broiler in the oven, and I made 3 on the barbecue. Alright, so I got the package of meat, and one of the most important things about making these burgers is not to manhandle the meat. A lot of people, they like to mush it between their hands. Don't do any of that. You want to keep as much of the texture of the original meat as possible. So I very carefully break the meat away and then very gently just get it into the shape of a hamburger, which is like a hockey puck. And then I make a little bit of an indentation so that when the hamburger gets bigger, when it cooks, it becomes flat. If you don't make that indentation, then the hamburger would get round like a big meatball. So I make the indentation, it's very important. Now, when it comes to putting the spices on the hamburgers, all I do is put salt and pepper, nothing else. Just a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt on both sides, and once I do that, I'm done with the spices. Notice how I took off the gloves that I was using, and I'm not touching them with my hands anymore. So here's the one that's going into the broiler, and I'm putting a 2-minute timer on there just so that I can keep an eye on it and don't forget about it. 1 goes in the frying pan and 3 go on the hot barbecue. All 3 were hot. I'm done with the salt and pepper. There's nothing else I have to do with that, so I may as well put it away. That's not ready yet. Notice, okay, you notice when you're cooking these that there's some gray color that starts to work its way up the hamburger from the hot side to the cold side. You want to see that gray get at least halfway across the hamburger so that you know that it's done enough on one side. Okay, here I'm making some onions that I'm gonna put on the frying pan burger. Okay, and I actually get the onions, put them on the burger, and then I turn the burger over and I put the onions right under it. Now this one, it got a little bit burnt, but it still came out really good. Okay, so here I'm adding a little bit of water. This is a North Jersey onion burger. It's almost in the White Castle style, but much better. So I'm just getting those onions under the burger, and they're going to steam the other side. So one side has been fried, the other one's steamed. Notice how the color is. It's just slightly gray on the top, and those are ready to turn over. Okay, that one has browned nicely. It's stuck a little bit, so I'm very carefully prying it loose, and then I'm going to turn that over. Okay, and that isn't going to take much longer, okay? So I'm just going to keep an eye on that, and all I want to do is get it to the point where it browns. This one, it dried out a little too soon, so I'm thinking maybe I should just add a little bit more water to it. Okay, so once I get all those onions back under the burger, or at least most of them, because you want the fat in the burger to kind of go down into the onions, I'm just going to add a little more water just to keep that moist. Okay, so get the onions back under the burger. The water is going to help steam the meat a bit. And now I'm just checking for doneness. If you take the muscle that's next to your thumb and you just press down on it when your hand is open, that's about how a medium rare hamburger would feel. And I'm just checking, and they're all about medium rare, so I'm going to turn off the barbecue right now. And I'm just going to heat up these tongs because they had been touching raw meat. And now I'm just going to take the burgers off of here. Those are done. They have to rest for 5 minutes before you do anything. While the grill's hot, it's a good time just to clean it. And all you got to do is just scrub it down and you're done. Okay, now there's the burger from the oven. As you can see, it looks a lot, well, maybe the top doesn't look so good. Okay, it looks much better on that side. So that looks nice, but it doesn't have the grill marks. And as you can see, they all have about the same consistency as your palm. Okay, so I'm just going to take a brioche roll. I'm just going to put some fresh butter I made on it, and I'm just going to stick that on the grill for a minute. And I forgot to put some cheese on that, so I'm going to just hit it with the blowtorch and melt it down. And that does a pretty good job. 3,500 degrees with Mapp Gas. So you got to move quick. It's already sizzling and I'm barely touching it. I'm just giving a light brushing with the flame. Okay, but you can see it melted on there pretty well. Now the butter has melted. I got a couple nice little grill marks on that. I can take that and I can just put it on the roll. But there's a lot of oniony goodness there, and I want to get the last little bit of those onions. Would be a good idea. I'm just getting those onions on there. Now, you know, I took it off of there and I'm thinking, that's the one I'm eating now. The other burgers I'm going to put away and have later. I didn't have any guests. So I was thinking, you know, it needs some other things on it. So what can I put on it? Okay, so I got some relish, and I put a little dollop of relish on there. I had made some fresh tomatoes and feta from my garden with fresh basil, tomatoes, onions, and garlic, salt and pepper from the garden. Just put a little bit of that on the burger. That stuff's pretty good. Has a little olive oil. Okay, now I'm going to put some lettuce on there. Hopefully the thing is not going to fall apart. Oh, wait a second. You know what else? I got to put some ketchup on. That's right. Let's just put some ketchup now. What's a burger without ketchup? Let's cut it in half and see how it came out. Alright. And look at that. Perfectly medium rare on the inside. Same thing with all the other burgers I made. I'm just going to cut it in half and show you. Okay. You can see it's pink. It's not raw. I don't know if the camera is making it look like that, but it's exactly pink. And now I'm just going to clean the pan. Okay, I heat it up really hot. I put a little water on there. I scrub it very lightly. No soap. This is a cast iron skillet. I'm just using one of these scrubbies. And I'm just getting off. You might have to repeat that once or twice. And then what you do is you heat it up to dry it off and sanitize it. And once you've done that, wait for the last little bit of water to dry as it's heating back up. And maybe you might want to put a little bit of oil on it just to re-season it. As for the broiler, well, that just goes in the dishwasher in the pan. That's for the dog. See, the dog got something out of this too. And that's it. That's the way to make burgers 3 different ways. And I would say that I liked the barbecue one the most, the frying pan one second, because it had some cool onions, and the broiler one on the oven wasn't so bad either. But that was my 3rd choice. So that's it. Bon appetit.